First off, I wanted to talk about how I feel, switching some stuff around here, how I feel now that I have completely gotten rid of some habits. And this also kind of doubles down on the whole I pay it gladly bit. So, I mean, I don't know how much I've mentioned it in the past, but I have loved smoking in my past. Good Lord, do I love a good dart, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, the more that I learn about health, especially given that that's like probably my number one area of study, it's just like not worth it. It's just not worth it. At least as a habit, maybe the occasional, extremely rare cigarette, but it's just so horrible for pretty much every aspect of your life, chemically, psychologically, mechanically, physically. Like, it's just every, so many aspects of why it's not good for you. And it's just, especially now that like I'm running and my training is getting more and more specific, it's just not worth that. So I've even elected to kind of reduce the schedule to less than rare. And I've noticed something very interesting about that, especially now that I've gotten pretty far away from it emotionally. And that is that like this is the most detached from smoking that I've been since I started smoking, which is I think a win, right? But with that, I've noticed something important, and I think that there's a lesson in here as well. And that is that, well, for one, I don't feel this anxiety of wanting to do it all the time. And that's not even from an addiction standpoint, because even times that I've taken pretty long breaks, I've still felt like I know that I'm sacrificing something. But now that I've accepted why I'm sacrificing this habit, and I have a multitude of reasons as to why it's something that I don't want, it's so much further away in my mind to where it's not even in the back lingering. It's, I mean, obviously occasionally it'll pop up, but it's most of the time a non-issue. And I notice that I can just be so much more present with my time, and when I go places, I'm just so much more involved in what I'm doing than waiting to go smoke or thinking about like, when's the next time I'm going to smoke? And the closer that you are to, or that I am to, when the last time I smoked, obviously that gets worse. But I noticed that it was always lingering, it was always some level of ambient anxiety that just was just subtly there. And now that I've really given myself so many reasons why I don't want to do it, not why I shouldn't, right? Not why my partner doesn't like it, not why it looks bad, right? Or people will judge me, but like real reasons as to why I don't want to do it. I just have such a less of an urge, and it takes up no part of my mind, essentially, or very little at least. And it's pretty freeing, and I feel so much more at peace and in control all the time. And this is smoking or vaping or whatever. I just mean nicotine consumption in general. I mean, not even nicotine consumption, because I can chew a piece of nicotine gum, and I don't get any kind of withdrawal, or I don't like want another piece of gum or anything. It's like very clean. So obviously there's some other things going on within ingesting nicotine that way through inhalation that is, and some other stuff that's in vapes and cigarettes too. But without it, and I'm not actively chewing nicotine gum. I've tried it a couple times over the last month or so, and pretty clean. It's not really anything special to me, but anywho, after accepting this new dynamic of like, I don't want it, and I have many reasons why that I've thought through extensively, it's really just given me such a relief from that, I know it's not a problem, and I just feel so much more comfortable wherever I am, because I'm not tricking myself or lying to myself or anything, and I've done my homework as to why this habit has been given up. And not only does that go for smoking, but it also kind of goes for drinking. Now, I haven't quit drinking, okay, but I have severely reduced the amount of alcohol that I intake, and I haven't even really done my homework on what alcohol does. but I just, continuously hear about how there's like probably just as many things that it does bad for you that cigarettes does or more. And also, like, I'm, just really pinning down on all the positive habits that I want and where I want my life to go. And I've just noticed that I just don't really want to engage in that much. I still enjoy it, I still like it, and it's still there, but it's not like an urge, like an itch. And it's such a like the amount of control, I cannot emphasize that enough or stress that enough, that I just feel so much more like stable energy all the time, where there's not all this vibration happening where I'm wanting or urging or jonesing for some hooch, dog. I'm so stable. And this is like I haven't felt this stable in I think a very long time. And I think that there's a lot of benefit there, a lot of benefit that did not really expect. I didn't really expect, and I think that not only is the lesson here total acceptance of the deletion of a poor habit, that for sure. Also, finding the importance of finding a why, or a couple whys, right? Like reasons for why you want to do things. Because, everybody talks about the man, what do they say? That the man who has a good why can endure almost anyhow, right? Well, I'm finding that to be increasingly true to an extraordinary extent. It's like the more that I stack up reasons as to why I want to be something more than I am, the less I feel pulled to do the things that take me from that. Because there's so many things that is like, okay, this is why I want to be better. It's like smoking is bad for me because it degrades my veins and arteries. It gives me high blood pressure. It increases my risk of mortality by like 40%, right? It smells bad. It's expensive. Like I can just stack and stack and stack and stack and stack. When on the other side of the fulcrum here is, it feels pretty good. And it, looks kind of cool, right? Which, hey, if anybody tells you it doesn't look cool, they're freaking lying to you, dude. That's a slick trick right there. But, anywho, that's nothing. That's nothing over here, and I have all these things and more stacked on this side, and so, like, the urge to do it is minimal to none, right? And so, the importance of digging deep and finding why you want to do something. And that's the only way that I see that is going to really cement the, move completely towards positive habits and getting rid of negative habits. And you can argue that, or just have, strong willpower, which is how I quit smoking in the past anyways. But at the same time, if you can create this system of digging deep and finding whys and doing your research and understanding yourself and your personal reasons as to why you don't want to do something anymore, then that addictive behavior, we don't talk about addiction on here enough, but I definitely want to launch into it much more in the future, but that addictive behavior becomes much less enticing just because there's so much more at stake. So, stack your whys, man. Stack your freaking whys. That has helped me so much. And like, as I say all the time, I am the king of impulses, dude. Like, if I want something, there's a lot of me that is, hard to stop. But now that I can slow down and just think things all the way through and give myself a huge reason as to why I don't want that thing, it makes it so much easier to say no, even in the moment, even when it's sitting right in front of me. And so that I can have it right here, boop, boop, boop. And may I want to? Sure, but I have a whole brigade of reasons as to no, right? So I think that's really important, man. I think that so many things can become addictive, and to each and every person a different item. But this concept of creating a powerful why, or creating a long list of powerful whys, is going to lead, I believe, anyone out of the dark, and give you enough reasons to say no or to say yes to the right thing, right?